Hey everybody, Mac Tomazo here, back with Marvel Heroes. Everybody's asleep, so I get a chance to do some Daredevil. I would have done it last night, but we had a nasty storm and knocked out the internet, so couldn't do it last night. Kind of sucked. So Daredevil went through his level 52 review, and he actually got a solid review. Not sure if I like them doing two at a time because it doesn't seem like Human Torch got as good as a review as Daredevil got as good as a review. And of course, they're saying Human Torch was in a good place already, so he didn't need as good as a review. But you know, I digress already, so I'll just stay on Daredevil. Going over his stats at level 60, I'm not sure if anything's changed from the previous iteration. Looks like his fighting skill is in the same area, and strength and durability. I think me have gone up one in each. I don't know if he was a 2-point or a 3-pointer before. So he's still kind of low in those areas. I have really bad gear on him. So hopefully I can get some gear, and then maybe tonight I can do a cosmic run with him. Because I think he will be cosmic able. With the build that I'm doing. How effective he'll be cosmic able, that'll be another question. But should be able to do it. I think it'll be a longer fight, but still possible. And so for the skills on here, a lot of them have stayed the same. The ones that have stayed the same are the Rebounding Club. That's still there, except now it's on a 2-second cooldown. That really sucks. So that's unappealing. It hits hard, and it hits actually probably a lot harder than it did before. And it's still got a dot on it, so everything it does hit, and will get hit by a dot, it hits a lot more targets, which is what everybody wanted. So I guess I threw the cooldown on to kill it. So instead of hitting up to 4 targets, it hits up to 8 targets, which is nice. It says maximum of 7 bounces, so you get your 1 hit, and then it bounces 7 times. We still have the triple strike, does the same thing, except it's plus 40% damage per consecutive strike instead of 25. So that's interesting, and it does generate combo points, so you can do that. But it is a spirit spending power, so you can use that as a spirit burning build. He's got a new ability. I'll go into new in a second here. And he's got that Whirling Club, which mimics kind of Ghost Riders. It's nowhere near as good, so it's definitely off the board. He still has Radar Sense, but it's completely changed. Still has Enter the Void, which is crowd control. I'm trying to stick with the things that are the same. Heroic Leap, that still leaps over enemies. I'm not sure if Swinging Assault was there before, but it's here now. It sounds familiar to me. I just don't remember if it did this kind of damage. It does a lot of damage now. And it has a stun duration. So, kind of new skills, which are still similar to the old ones. We got Assault and Battery, which is a spirit generating ability. And the more points you have in it, the more spirit it will generate. And it will generate a lot of spirit. So Daredevil, like Luke Cage, generates combo points, but instead of going up to 4, he goes up to 5. Daredevil does, and a lot of the benefit to going up to 5 is you get an extra finisher. Instead of having one finisher, you can have 2 finishers happening. So just like Luke Cage, once you get up to start getting combo points, you can use a finisher to burn the combo points and get extra benefits. And the more combo points you have generated, the more damage that finisher does. So that's why I'm starting a little bit different here. I'm going to start with what generates those combo points. We already have Triple Strike. So we got Assault and Battery here. And this does pretty decent damage. Let me pull my cheat sheet out. I wrote it down. It's the lowest damage generating ability with a normal melee range. Same melee range as Knuckle Beat down here. And then we got Staff Strike, which does a little bit more damage, but has twice as much melee range, if not 3 times, because not only is it twice as far out as Knuckle Beatdown. It's also twice as wide each side, so it's going out like this. It's like a huge pattern. So you can really hit a few things out there. But it doesn't really do too much more damage than Assault and Battery. However, it does have a lot of extra crit rating for the ability, and an extra crit damage to the ability. It also generates combo points. Now, these combo points are per hit and not per enemy hit. So you could hit 10 enemies with one swing and you still only get one combo point. So don't think that by going for the wider arc you get more combo points. It just doesn't matter. And so the size and arc doesn't matter. It's just a matter of how many things you're going to hit. And then we got Nunchuck Beatdown. And then this generates a combo point as well. If you notice, well, I'm geared up here, obviously, but this one attacks slower here. And Assault and Battery and Nunchuck Beatdown attack a lot faster. So that's why this has a much wider arc and has the actual crit. So, let me bring that back up. We also get a new skill, this Apprehend. It's basically a yank. And you throw out your nunchucks there, and like Luke Cage's chain, grab a guy and bring him back to you. Basic yank. You get a club sweep, which works just like Wolverine's little sweep there. It's very small, tight around you. Hits all enemies around you. And if they're weakened, the enemies, they take an extra 50% damage and knocks them down. And then we got this spinning hook kick, which is melee fighting and a finisher, but it's not a true finisher. So it deals 40% extra damage to bosses, elites, and champions. There's no spirit cost on here, and it doesn't cost spirit, so this is very nice. But you can only activate it after performing a finisher at maximum combo points. This is where I'm talking about you get an extra bonus if you use a finisher at maximum combo points. This is it. It's basically being able to do 2 finishers instead of 1. So this is like a super finisher, but it's actually not a super finisher because the finisher, they can do a little more damage. The signature is the big deal. This is added bonus damage basically. This helps out a lot against bosses. Moving into the fighting focus, this is basically all about buffs. These are buffs for you. We already covered Enter the Void, which is our crowd control immunity. You got Radar Sense, which is now actually a passive. You don't have to click anything. You don't have to do anything. But also, again, on reaching maximum combo points, something else also happens. So first off, just by having this as a passive, you get dodge rating and projectile evasion chance. And then when you max out on combo points, you hit something 5 times, basically. It pings out from you, and then your evade chance you have a chance to evade things completely for 8 seconds, and all enemies that get hit by the ping are now take 10% extra damage for 8 seconds. So that's where you can make that club sweep payout for you. I don't know if that's a weakened. That's a vulnerability. I guess that doesn't make that payout for you. I wonder if that's intended how that's supposed to work, but maybe. I don't know. I haven't tried it. That's not my build, obviously, if you can see the points. And then we got Devil of Hell's Kitchen. This gives damage rating to melee powers. Just about everything is melee tagged. Gives you crit rating and critical damage rating. So this is a very, very nice passive. For some reason it's tagged fighting. I have no idea why. It's just a passive. We have Relentless Justice. This is another passive. This gives you defense, tenacity, which is still useless. I don't know why it's there. Attack and movement speed, which is always nice when you're a character that runs and have no real movement abilities. But the real gem in this, if you can see it, is damage negated 10% for 10 seconds when you use a movement power. That is very, very nice, obviously, for Daredevil to be able to add on an extra 10% damage reduction. Very, very sweet. And then we got another finisher, actually, in this fighting focus. And it actually works kind of like a passive, but it's an active passive. So I guess we'll call it an active. But this finisher allows us to restore some health per combo point spent, and also restore 1% of your maximum health per second for 3 seconds per combo point spent. So basically, it's not 5% of your health for 15 seconds. It's 1% of your health for 15 seconds if you do 5 combo points. Basically, every combo point is 3 seconds worth of timing at 1% of your health, which is pretty good because if you do any of my builds and you do anything like me, I stack health. I try to hit that 20k mark. I got bad gear on Daredevil and we're already at 19k almost. So 1% is basically I'll round up to 190 health a second. Well, I can actually do it here. It's 188 health a second, which is actually pretty sweet. You times that by 60. It's a pretty good chunk of health regeneration passively built into him, although you have to actively do it every 15 seconds, so it's a little annoying in that manner, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, putting points into it, I could get it up to about 220 health or so per combo point spent, so it would be around 1200 health every time I hit it, but I'm only going to hit it once every 15 seconds. Or do I want to save it for a 1200 point health regen? I don't think so. I just want to keep that 1% coming in as a standard health regen. It would be nice if it was just a passive every time I hit a finisher, it activated it or something, but we have to be active on it, unfortunately. And then we go into acrobatic prowess, and these are going to be our movement abilities, obviously, and we're going to need that to get that 10% damage reduction. So ironically, not tagged movement is a jumping strike. We're jumping, but we're not moving yet. Melee fighting finisher. This is one of the another finisher for damage that we have a choice of. Remember, if we do this at max, we only have to do it every 15 seconds. So we will be able to use another finisher in between there a few times. So this does physical damage. It does it to a very small area, just like your melee strike. And it deals 25% extra damage per combo point spent, and it knocks the target down. I didn't like this too much because it just doesn't scale appropriately for such a small area that it hits. Sliding strike. Finally, a melee movement fighting tag, a movement tag's ability. If you have no combo points, this will also give you 2 combo points, so it helps you get up into combo points faster. And it does a pretty good damage. I don't use this. Action roll. Melee movement fighting. Movement speed plus 10% for 5 seconds and knockdown duration 1.3 seconds. I got a point in this, obviously. I do use this. If you're just running around, you need that extra 10% movement speed. Why wouldn't you want that? You know what I'm saying? You're running around Midtown between mob rolls or mob spawns. Obviously, you want to run around a little bit faster. Street Sweeper. Melee finisher fighting movement. Aha. A finisher and a movement tag. No wonder there's points pumped into this one. This one does pretty good damage. It actually does almost the same damage as this, except this works just like Blink Strike for Nightcrawler, Bouncing Bolts, Cyclops' little bouncing beams, all the little bouncy shield strikes. It actually works just like Rebounding Club as well. It bounces 1 bounce per combo point spent. So you get 6 total bounces, basically. The first hit and then 1 per combo point spent. And then it also deals 25% extra damage per combo point spent, and it only costs 8 spirit. So even single target, this just does almost the same. This jumping strike will outperform single target. If there's one other creature on the screen, Street Sweeper exponentially destroys this. So that's why this is on there. Also, what's nice is while you're jumping around, if there's any kind of area thing on the ground, you don't take damage from it, at least currently. So that's pretty nice. And then Devil's Due. This is his signature move. It does a lot of damage, as you can see. It does cost some spirit. It has a 20-second cooldown, and cooldown is reduced by 0.4 seconds when you spend a combo point. So if you spend 5 combo points, you can reduce the cooldown by 2 seconds. It used to be 1 second per combo point, which was awesome. So you could get this thing down really, really fast. You can burn it and get it going. So now you can't really get it going. You can get about 6 seconds off before the timer's up on it. And but it's a really, really nice, huge area effect. It's almost the screen, and I'm not using a Docked Octopus, so it's pretty good. And then Man Without Fear is pretty much the same as it was. Well, I don't remember what it used to be called, but you still summon Electra. You get a lot of physical hits, some crit rating for 30 seconds, and then you summon Electra, who hits pretty much like a truck. I guess she hangs out for that 30 seconds. That's pretty diesel. She's got some good stats in there for damage. So, and that's the stats. As for the build, I do have a build, and I call it the Devil's Due because it's all about getting the devil out there, based on the Devil's Due. And as you can see, I went with Nunchuck Beatdown. The reason I went for this is because it's a high attack speed. It does more damage than Assault and Battery, who has the same attack speed. Even though this restores spirit, it's not a high spirit burning build. I don't have to worry about spirit at all. So I can get the extra damage from Nunchuck Beatdown. We're going to pump up Spinning Hook Kick because when we deal with the boss, trash, it's not going to be so relevant because a lot of times the trash is dead before we can even hit this. But sometimes it's not, so it'll help. You'll get frustrated with this on trash, but you'll like it a lot on bosses. So it will pay out. I mean, it does hit like a truck, 35 to 50k. And then plus 40% extra base damage to boss. I mean, that's pretty diesel. That's 50 to 75k on a boss. Easy, actually, 50 to 90k. And then I pumped up Relentless Justice for the attack and movement speed. Well, it was more relevant to do this when this was 1 second per combo point. Now that it's 0.4, it's not as relevant. They've kind of figured out what was broken in Test Center, and everybody was obviously doing this. So with the attack and movement speed getting buffed up, I can get 5 combo points in under 2 seconds, burn them, and then every 2 seconds burn off 5 seconds. So in 9 seconds, I can basically do a Devil's Due again and constantly roll out that Devil's Due, which was nice. But now it's not too bad. So if you figure, well, 5 would be 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds, an extra 2 seconds, so that's 4 seconds. So in about 10 seconds, you can get one off instead. 10, 12 seconds. So, it's still pretty effective. That's if you can sit there and just burn on something. Mind you, every time you do a Devil's Due, you're basically going to do a Born Again. So, but we only have 1 point in Born Again. I'll get into that in a second. So we got Nunchuck Beatdown, Spinning Hook Kick, Relentless Justice for the extra defense. It's a lot for the attack speed. And then Devil of Hell's Kitchen for obviously the damage. And obviously, you know, the extra crit's nice too, but the damage rating. We're going to do Devil's Due, name of the build. And finally, Street Sweeper. We'll use this to clear trash. We'll use this on the boss. You need a point in action roll and a point in Born Again. And that's it. That's the build. It's pretty simple. You beat on whatever till you get 5 points. And you get Born Again rolling. At 5 points, you can still do this spinning hook kick. So you pop the spinning hook kick. You get 5 points. Well, excuse me. You beat on whatever to get 5 points, but while you're beating on it, you drop your Devil's Due to get that on cooldown. Especially if there's a big group of mobs or you just started with a boss, you get this going on cooldown. You get your 5 points. You get your Born Again rolling. You do your spinning hook kick. You get more 5 points. You burn off on Street Sweeper. If he's just spawning mobs and they're not able to be hit, you obviously wait a second. And then you burn your Street Sweepers so you can hit all the mobs and get more damage out there. And that'll start ticking off points off of Devil's Due. And then you just repeat that process. You build up 5, pop off Street Sweeper, pop off Spinning Hook Kick until Devil's Due's coming up. Then you drop off Devil's Due, you burn off 5, you hit your Born Again, you burn off 5, you get Street Sweepers out until Devil's Due comes up. You pop off Devil's Due, you refresh Born Again, and you just repeat this process. So, mind you, I'm in really bad gear. I got the right artifacts. I do have the right artifacts. And I have a decent Doom's Medal. I went with Doom's Medal because of the 10% chance to cause the attacker to cower. It's got 250 damage rating. It's got the extra power duration. So that's going to make Born Again last longer. That 1% for 3 seconds per combo point. That's basically 15 seconds at 24% duration. We'll just say 25%. Well, 24% is a little bit easier actually, but 25% power duration. As we're saying, that's going to last 18 seconds. So we get 10 seconds on this. That's going to give us 12.5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So we get a little bit extra time, so if we have to dodge and run and move or whatever, and we can't do something, we have a little extra time of the things that we want active to stay active. And that's what we want. And plus, if we get attacked, there's a 10% chance to cause them to cower in fear. They usually cower for 2 to 3 seconds, easy. We get 250 damage rating, 600 spirit, or 600 health, and 20 spirit. So it's not a bad medal for someone that needs a lot of different things to have happen for them, especially durations. I have obviously Advanced Crimson Crystal Cedric. We have all physical damage here, so that's a lot of physical damage rating. The Advanced Super Soldier Serum, it's a lot of health, some extra health regeneration, defense, attack speed. It's a great all-around melee style artifact. Advanced, or the PIM growth serum. It's got damage rating and health when we need health. Advanced Kung Fu training sequence, health, defense, damage rating with melee powers, dodge rating. I mean, this is all around. I was playing with him with the defense Earl from before. It works for me now. I mean, 35% without the advanced Kung Fu sequence going up. I think that goes up to 37% defense reduction. And uniques, I'm up closer to 41, 42 maybe. So that's a pretty high damage reduction for a Daredevil now. Very interesting to be able to be that high. Means a lot. It's a lot better than dodge, even though I do have a pretty diesel dodge, 1 in 5. Not too shabby. It goes up a little more with obviously the uniques as well. So, being able to shed off that kind of damage helps survivability greatly, especially with the bad gear. I got this little ring. It's a level 33 ring, 27 hood, 27 boots, 51, 51, 60. And then I got Mostly health with some health regen. I got obviously health and spirit on use with some movement speed. So the core is not really there. Although I will say the insignia is really good with a 5% chance to confuse on hit, some extra defense and 1500 health. That's an insignia that'll stick around. But the rest of the gear I need to do some cosmics with somebody and just give them some loot. And I will definitely show you what the build does and how it works. Well, Taskmaster's good enough. And I need the shard. Real easy, real effective. Get my movement speed going. So I get that going, I can do my spinning hook. Now I got health regen. Now I'm just going to bounce all over. The bounce does have a small area duration, so, and you won't see yourself bouncing as much. That's the Devil's Due. As you can see, that hit a wide swath. There you go. That's a good show of the bounce. Not so much going on. So I got my Devil's Due on cooldown, popped my health regen, do my bounce, do my spinning hook kick, do my bounce, do my spinning hook kick. That's all I'm doing. Spinning hook kick, Devil Dues up, do my health regen, spinning hook kick. The hook kick doesn't last too long. 2 seconds is definitely not long enough with the bounce. The bounce can take a full second to go off, and it's kind of leaving with maybe like half a second sometimes to only get it. So, and Cosmic is if you're really worried about damage incoming, you can skip the bounce if you really wanted to. Go with the staff strike with the wide arc to deal with trash, and then just constantly use your finisher as the heal. There's a lot of health income, but I think that'll be a real slow time to kill. Real slow kills. So even with the shoddy gear, I mean, this is pretty effective. The weapon's pretty much dead on, so. Okay, he just destroyed this. So with the uniques, the extra safety of the uniques in there, you can see how this would really work. So that's it. That's the Devil's Due. Daredevil is it doesn't return you to the training center anymore. His review is really good. Really one of the better reviews done. So I like him. So hope it helps. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll talk to everybody later.